All right. It looks like it is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Soldiers from around the world, welcome to another live interactive broadcast of Sunday Night Alive, Power Hour with your host, Soldier of Self-Mastery, a.k.a. Santos Rolon Jr., straight out of Stockton. Today is April the 26th, and today's topic that we are going to be taking on is you are more than you know. All right, my friends. My goal on this episode, before you leave this broadcast, is to help you begin to see your greatness. All right, let's turn on the light and go forward, or grow forward, as I like to say. We're going to get a little bit of house cleaning out of the way here first. And if you're new, remember to subscribe and learn more about this mission of building soldiers. You can go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. Remember to support us, share, comment on the videos. And I want to do a special shout out today here on this house clean to Patrick. Patrick, if you're on the episode today, send me your address so that I can send you your book. I want to thank you for your support, Patrick. All right, my fellow soldiers, we're getting into this. The time has come. Let's get into the proverb. Today is Psalms 139:14. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Let me get the rest of that. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. That's a beautiful verse. I got to read it again. Psalm 139:14. Let me get it here. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. All right, today's topic is about actually, I'm already losing it here. You are more than you know. It is Sunday the 26th. I'm grateful. I am thankful to be here with those of you that join me today on this broadcast, and hopefully we can interact. This is a live broadcast, and we're getting started here. So I'm going to listen to a little bit of the tune. I see we've got a few people joining. And okay, by the way, if you haven't signed up to our weekly email, please do so. You can check out the link there, soldiersofselfmastery.com. Want to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck, right? We're talking about growth. We're talking about self-mastery, empowerment, my fellow soldiers. And that's what we're going to be doing on this very short broadcast. So welcome. Nahil, welcome to the program. George, welcome to the program. Good to see you guys here. Looks, I don't know, maybe people are at the beach. So thank you for being here with me. What is up? What is up, my fellow soldiers? Hello. Trisha, welcome to the program. And see, we got a few people joining in here. And Ghulam Fareed, welcome. Nice cap. It's my Navy cap, man. Yeah, I'm excited to be here today. A little bit challenged. In fact, I was even thinking about changing the name again to this broadcast. Power Hour, Sunday Night Alive. Anyways, I've been, today is Sunday. Got done with my bike ride, my 30-minute exercise, nearly killed myself out there in the park. I did a little bit of a live stream on Facebook, and it's all about, it really is. It's about sharing. It's about expressing the energy that you get into the lives of other people. And part of this program, or part of the topic that we're going to be talking about, is giving, right? Giving. And I'm not just talking about money here. I'm talking about giving. All right. So anyways, I want to interact with those of you before we get into the portion that I really enjoyed putting together here. If I am so great, wonderfully made, why don't I see it? Let's get into this. Um, should not be at the beach. Well, it depends on the area. It really depends on the area. You know, we can't live our lives in fear. I think that we should take precautionary measures, right, as much as possible, but we shouldn't live in fear. Yeah, thank you for Gulam. I'm doing, you know what? I'm doing super fantastic, terrific, and over the top today. I'm looking forward to meeting those of you on the broadcast here today. If you have a question, you have a thought, you have an observation, whatever it is that you have, you're looking for a solution. We're turning on the light here, right? That's what this is about. It's about turning on the light and keeping it on, or actually not just keeping it on. We want to turn on the light, but we want that light to shine brighter. Do you want your light to shine brighter? I know I do. What would that do for you if your light, right, your gift, your talent, your ability, if that began to grow more? What would that do for you? What would that do for your business? What would that do for your family? What would that do for your coworkers? So we've got a few people here. I'm doing excellent. I may not be here too long depending on what is happening. I see we've got a few people, and I'm not getting any questions. So I'm going to get into the topic, and the topic is you are more than you know. But again, to answer that question, why am I not? If I'm so great, if I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, why don't I see it? You know, I was talking to my wife. We're much like the sun sometimes. You know, the sun. Imagine the world without the sun. Imagine what would happen. Of course, if the sun left us, humanity, we wouldn't survive, right? We need the vitamin D. I believe that's what it is, vitamin D. We need the light. We need the heat. We need the energy. There's a lot of benefits, right, from the sun. In fact, there's benefits that we don't even know, but we do know some. One thing that happens, though, is the sun gets blocked, right? Or at least it seems like that. And what happens when the sun gets blocked? What happens? What happens when we don't see the sun? Right? It almost appears as if the sun is hiding on us. We lose out on that energy. We lose out on that light. We lose out on the benefits of the sun shining. And it's not that the sun goes into hiding. It's that the earth revolves on an axis around. I believe that's the way it goes. And we see the sun for a certain amount of hours, and then it turns and it goes into a different area of the world, right? Because they need it too. And you know, our lives are much like the sun. They are. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more here. But I do want to see what your thoughts are on. Now, maybe you're not understanding what I'm getting at here, that we are much like the sun. But unfortunately, you know, we get blocked, right? If your light that you have in your life is not really shining, something's going on. And we know there's a lot of people. I conversate with people, and I'm just a people person. I like to investigate people, and I like to observe things. And I notice that there's a lot of people that don't have that light on. They just don't have the light. Something is blocking that light. Would you agree with that? We're going to talk a little bit more about these blocks here. And let me see. Hey, Jim, welcome to the broadcast. Good to see you here, man. Good to see you here, Jim. What happens? You get depressed. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you get depressed because the sun is not shining, or because you're not shining? Because of course that can also make you depressed, right? If you're not developing your gifts, if you're not growing in these areas of life, life becomes boring. And guess what happens when we become bored? We tend to look for, I was going to say shit. That doesn't matter. We tend to look for shit, right? We get into stuff, gambling, smoking, drinking, bad relationships. And of course, there is a depression that is formed from that. Lily, welcome. Hi. So, this is what happens. I was thinking about this earlier. How are we really like the sun? When we're like the sun. We give. There's something that you and I can give to our families, to our coworkers, to people around us that maybe we don't even know. There's something that we can give, right? Hopefully, as I mentioned earlier before I started this broadcast, my goal is to help you begin to see your greatness. Maybe you don't see your greatness. Again, it could be blocked, kind of like the sun. We don't see the greatness of the sun when it hides on us. The sun hides on us, huh? Well, it doesn't hide on us. Mark, welcome to the program. And again, if you have a question, here we got something today here. I'm there. I'm here, Mark. That's Mark. How to become happy and rich in the same time. That could be something that we could talk about a little bit here. We could talk about this. We can get a little bit deeper into this maybe on the next episode, because I like to prepare, a little bit. But how do we become happy and rich at the same time? Can money make you happy? Can money really make you happy? Well, some people say, no, money can't make you happy. And then there's people that say, yes, money can make you happy. I think everybody would like to find out. I think everybody would like to find out if money can make you happy. I don't think money can make you happy per se. Money can give you options. It can give you more abilities. It can give you more, you can do more when you have more money. And because there's people that are very rich that are miserable. There are millions. In fact, there are people that, remember there was a, what was it? Wall Street crashed. People were committing suicide because they lost all that money. They could have rebuilt whatever they had, but instead they were so focused on their money that they took their lives. I believe that was the Wall Street or the financial collapse. Oh man, was that in 2008, 2009? So good question there, Gulam. And maybe that's the reason why people go into the casinos, right? Because they think that money's going to make them happy. And what happens when they leave the casino? Generally, they leave the casino depressed. Or depression hits them right outside the door because they didn't win any money. They lost everything. So, hey, Keith Robinson, welcome to the program. This is episode 122, Sunday Night Alive, Power Hour. Rob is here with us. And you don't need to be rich to be happy. That's true. You don't need, happiness and joy comes from within. It comes from serving. It comes from building you. In fact, that's what this program is about today, right? Now, if you're not feeling so great, if you're not feeling so wonderful, it's definitely because you're being blocked. You're being blocked. There are blocks. And that can be very, very personal because, again, some people don't even realize it, right? And that's the truth. Some people don't even realize it. My upbringing wasn't the best. I had a difficult childhood, and that has a lot to do with me. A while back, I remember a couple years back, I wasn't feeling great. I wasn't doing good. But I've realized that I had blocks in my life. And some of those blocks were seeds that were planted from my childhood. Generally, if you have a good childhood, generally, not in all cases, if you have a good childhood, you usually, you grow up to become usually a pretty good person. Not in all cases. If you have a rough childhood, that really puts a damper on things because as you get older, you don't see the greatness in your life. You're just wandering around. You may be depressed. You get into drugs, smoking, drinking, gambling. And you have all these blocks that you're living with. and you just don't understand. Generally, something happens. We wake up, or we get excited. We watch a video, we read a book, we go to a seminar someplace, and the light bulb in our head or in our spirit turns on, and we begin to see the blocks, right? We begin to strip away, like they say, we begin to peel away the layers of that onion, like they say that. We begin to peel that off. So that was, for me, that was something that I realize and I recognize now more than ever, that my childhood has or had a lot to do with these blocks that I had in my life that was really keeping me from my greatness, from developing, early on. Of course, I'm a late bloomer. I am a late bloomer, maybe like some of you guys are. There might be a late bloomer on this broadcast today. But again, I'm going to say this because it's very important. My goal on this broadcast is to help you begin to see your greatness. Just like the psalm that I read earlier, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. That's a proverb in the Bible. I see we've got a few people joining in. I've got some questions here. Let me see what moment to moment. Welcome. Not easy money. Easy money leads to ruin. Money, if you have the right method, if you have the right mechanics, if you have the right attitude, right, a plan, you can make lots of money. But money isn't to be stored away in a bank forever, because it begins to build mold. Mold grows on that money. It becomes moldy. We got to learn to do things. We got to learn to develop our talents and our abilities. And of course, we should use money to do that, to help others and things like that. So it's not easy money. Easy money leads to ruin. That's true. That is true, Rob. Let me see. We've got a testimony. Gambling free 147 days. I feel alive and free, but I know I'm only one visit away from that pain. Well, let me look at that statement. You're 147 days strong, okay? But you added something at the end of the sentence there. I feel alive and free. That's what you need to grow. You need to hold on to that. Somehow you need to focus on that and bring that you need to grow that in your life, because when you say, I know I'm only one visit away from that pain, that's kind of a red flag there, my fellow soldier. You don't really have to focus on that one visit. In fact, maybe even would it make sense to take something like that out of your vocabulary? You need to focus on the strength. You need to focus on the victory. 147 days, man, that is fantastic. Focus on that. How did you do it? And who knows, maybe you can take some of that and share it with other people. So again, see, it's kind of like a block right there. We see like a little block there, but I know I'm only one visit away. So I need to work on my speech too. Believe me, we say things sometimes and we need to catch ourselves, because if not, we're planting seeds. We are planting seeds with our very own word. So thank you for sharing. And there was another question here, a statement. I have watched your videos. I appreciate them. Lately, I just work from home and then just lay down every night. No energy to move around, unfortunately. Well, we all have energy. We don't have energy. We make energy. When you decide, earlier I was studying, and earlier today I was out doing some bike rides. And honestly, we don't feel like doing what's right. We don't feel like exercising, right? We don't feel like fighting temptation. We can't go by that. We can't go by that feeling. But when you make a decision to move, I talked about a 7-day plan. In fact, I may share a little bit about the 7-day plan thing that I got going on. We create energy. When we move in a certain direction, when you make a decision, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, we create energy when we begin moving into that. If we're waiting for energy from the inside to move us, it's like people are waiting for a certain feeling. Well, I don't feel like doing this. That doesn't work very well. You and I have to take control over the body, because the body will manipulate you, just like the subconscious in the body, right? The nervous system. It'll manipulate you. Oh man, it feels good under the covers. We're comfortable, right? We can lay in bed. We don't have to really work these days, but we're getting back. It is getting better, folks. We are getting ready to go back to work. We're getting ready to do more out in public. It's already, the doors are already opening. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to live my life in fear. Yeah, sure, we should use precautionary measures, like I believe it was Trisha talked about, that we shouldn't be at the beach. We just have to be more careful. We have to be more careful. We can't live in fear. You know, if you live in fear, that's a big block. In fact, fear has a very destructive measure to it, because when you think about fear, it releases a chemical from your brain. It releases a chemical in your body that actually suppresses your immune system. So I'm telling people, don't live in fear. And if you're living in fear, you need to investigate, why are you living in fear? It could be that your focus is on the wrong thing. You could be focusing on too much of the bad stuff. And I would encourage you. Laura says the billboards are saying see you soon. Yeah, people are setting themselves up. Rob says 6 years free. Right on. 6 years, that's a long time. But we got to stay free today. We got to stay free for tomorrow, right? 6 years is gone. We can't, that's great. The time that we have back there is fantastic, but what about today? What about tomorrow? You know, that's where we really need to be focused on. And if you've got 6 years of freedom, you are a very strong person. You are a very strong person. That's the truth. So Moment to Moment says, congratulations, Rob. And let me see. I got to reach out to my fellow Canadian here. Well, I relapsed online again, put $1,000 and won $45,000, lost it all the next day. Square one again, didn't take a penny out. Not good, not good. Again, I'm warning people. I'm warning people that if you're gambling online, you're setting yourself up for a big fall in the next couple of weeks. That's what's happening. And it's not good. You know, it's not good. If your life, I mean, for me to think that you lost all that money, you put $1,000, it's just not wise, my fellow soldier. You know, it's not wise. We have to fight. We have to fight. And, you know, you're really fighting against yourself. You're not fighting against casino. You know, we're not fighting against the cigarette. We're not fighting against the drink. We're not fighting against road rage or a really bad temper or overeating. That's not the battle. The battle is you. You are battling yourself. It's up here. You know, I always remind myself, and I remind others of this verse in the Bible out of Romans chapter 12. It says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is where it's at. So we have a lot of time on our hands right now. We've been given a time capsule called COVID-19 experience. And we've all been in this time capsule for some time. And my friends, my fellow soldiers, there's only two ways that you can use time. You can use it wisely or you can use it unwise, right? You're either using your time to benefit or you're wasting your time. Those are the only two things that we can do with time. And we can't recycle the time. This period, this time capsule that's been given to you and I called COVID-19 experience, if you're still alive, this has been an opportunity for us to really, really, just sink in and look at ourselves and look at what we can do to go forward. I mean, we have to go forward. We can't go backward. People are losing money. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's been a lot of big loss already. And if we've been in that, if that has affected us, and then, you know, we're gambling and stuff, and then these doors open up to the casinos, people are going to be running into these casinos. I know they are. As soon as these casinos open, that's the sad thing. And they're just going to self-destruct. So the battle is against yourself. Again, why are we gambling? We're gambling because there are blocks in our life. We're looking for something. You're looking for something. If you're gambling, if you're an addict, you're looking for something, but you're looking for it in the wrong place, my fellow soldier. Let me see. Yeah. Great job, Rob. That is what I am working on right now. You all have the power. You all have the ability. You know what? You all have the ability to say no to gambling. Well, Santos, is it that easy? Yes, it is that easy to say no. But you got to have a plan. You got to have something. Because if you're, again, self-destruction, my fellow soldiers, that's what you can look forward to. If you keep gambling, if you keep going down that road of addiction, you can look forward to self-destruction. Put it in your calendar because it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you. And I'm here to warn people. I've had enough of that destruction in my life. It's been dark. It's been ugly. It's just been a very, very horrible, horrible thing. And there's no way that I can go back to that. There's no way. Once you overcome, that's it. What's that? What's up, Santos? Just came on. Oh, I thought something happened with the broadcast here. Good to see you, Jesse. See, we've got a few people here. Let me see. We've got a few. Make your addictions positive, like reading, exercise, studying, which could help you grow in a positive way rather than having bad addictions like gambling, smoking, drinking, which puts you in big trouble. Fellow soldiers, you're gambling for a reason. That addiction should be telling you something during this time. What could your addiction be telling you? Well, I'm after the money. I'm after the money. I'm after this but what is your addiction telling you? What is it telling you? You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You've got the power within you to stop yourself. You've got it. Unfortunately, we have blocks, right? Like the sun. I said earlier, we're much like the sun. The sun seems to hide on us, right? And we lose the benefits of the sun. But then again, the sun comes up and we receive the benefits. We're like the sun, right? We hide and then we pop back up. We hide and then we pop back up. We have to keep that light on and grow that light brighter. And you have the ability. The reason why you don't believe in yourself, the reason why you don't believe that this is possible is because you've got mental blocks. There's a lot of noise in your life. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise around us. And we have to learn to identify. There's good noise and there's bad noise. And the reason why we do what we're doing is because we are focusing more on this bad noise, on our focus is off. But you have the ability. I can look you straight in the eye and say, you have the ability to turn your life around. God has equipped you with super potential. God has equipped you with superpowers. And unless you begin to really investigate that, you're going to fall prey to all of these things, all of the noise, all of the blocks, right? You'll walk around like a victim. You'll even talk like a victim. Blocks, mental blocks, blocking the light in your life, the light of your life. Find your blocks. And we're coming down to the end of the wire here. What can I start doing today? I'll get into that in a little bit. I see we've got a few people that are coming. And I blocked like 30 of them, and they only do 6-month bans. I mean, we could be wasting time doing things, and all we have to do is turn inside and look at ourselves. Cancel your bank cards. There's an idea. Well, either that, on the GABA, the Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Academy, in one of there's like 7 videos in that program. And by the way, if you want to tap into the Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Academy, that normally sells for about $197. There's a series of videos. There's a guideline in there. I'm willing to give that for less than half price. If you're serious about wanting to change, all you have to do is go to soldiersofselfmastery.com and I'll take care of you. It's a one-time payment and you'll have lifetime access. You're even going to get a personal one-on-one, I believe it's a 45-minute coaching with me so that I can help dig into you and help you see yourself for what you can be and what's blocking you. Sometimes we just can't see it for ourselves and we need somebody else with experience. So if you're wanting something like that, the GABA, Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Academy, I'm willing to help you with it. All you got to do is send me an email. Let me know. I'm willing to help anybody out. I think that program, my partner, Cephas, I think he has it at $197 or something like that. I'm willing to go half because I know it's a little bit of a tough time for everybody. But listen, if you need something to help guide you, like I said, one of the videos talks about how to handle your money. I give you some ideas, but you got to be committed. You got to be committed because if you keep playing, you can end up hurting yourself and whatever it is, whatever addiction it may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be gambling. It could be something else. Let me see. Yes, that's my goal. That's my goal, is to build an army of soldiers that believe in themselves, that know their greatness, that know that they can fight and they can realize that you have superpowers, man. What do you mean, Santos? We're not, Superman and Batman and all these. You have superpowers. You have the ability to say no. You have the ability to say yes. It's been clouded. Maybe it's being blocked, but you have it. And I promise, you follow me, listen to some of my videos, I'm going to get inside you and I'm going to help you develop that. Even free. Of course, free takes a little bit longer. You think, well, Santos, I don't really need a coach. I don't really need a book. I don't need a book. I can do it. I can handle it myself. Well, if you're handling yourself, ask yourself the question, are you handling yourself? I know I couldn't. I needed help. I had to humble myself. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So yes, I am building an army of soldiers of self-mastery. And you guys are part of this. Get that into your head. You're a soldier. Look in the mirror after this program and say, I'm a soldier. What is a soldier? A disciplined person, right? So do soldiers make mistakes? Do they fall? Yeah, there have been soldiers that have died because they made a mistake. Sometime maybe it could have been an ignorant thing, whatever it was. It could have been out of ignorance. But as long as we're alive, we still have the ability to do things, right? We have the ability to touch lives. We have the ability to, yes, continue. This page should have 100,000 subscribers, but people are afraid to share their addiction. That's true. Again, I need help. I really need help. I'm asking those of you that can share videos. You can take my video, you can share it. Maybe you can share the page, the YouTube Soldiers of Self-Mastery page. You can share it with somebody else to get subscribers. We really need to get this message out, those of you that want to team up. And I'm doing my best that I can, but it takes money, it takes time, and it takes people to really grow this. And right now, I only have 2 people on my team. And that's it. And if it wasn't for these 2 people, man, I'd be by myself. So I am looking for fellow soldiers to team up with me. It's not just about money. It's about time and talent. So, yeah. I just thought to myself, we share the stupid videos and sexual videos or pranks. Why are we afraid to share our addiction and stories of overcoming and inspiring fellow gamblers we keep hide? And another thing, here's what I want to say. How can you start really looking at yourself and figuring out what your greatness is, or developing more of what you already have? You have to study yourself. And what do you mean by that, Santos? What do you mean by that? You have to really think about who you are. You have to think about, in fact, if you don't know how to study yourself, study that. Go online and look up the topic, how to study myself. And you'll get all kinds of information from that, right? And it has to be personal. Everybody's different, but you have to study yourself. That's the number one thing that I would recommend to somebody that's really interested in finding out their greatness or wanting to develop more strength to overcome these addictions. In order for you to say no to something very powerfully, very strongly, and keep that, you have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be weak. You'll fall prey, like a lot of people, sadly, a lot of people living in fear because of this COVID-19 thing. They really don't know who they are. And again, it could be older people, younger people. And I'm not here to judge them, but the truth is that if you don't know your strengths, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you're capable of doing, you can easily fall prey to somebody's con. You can fall prey to that. All right, my fellow soldiers. Laura says, Rob says, you have to be strong. Yes. Well, Laura, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. If you're afraid, you might be holding on to something. There's a block somewhere. And again, habit, right? We've been doing this for so long. It's habit. And you have to really just tackle that habit. You have to study yourself. Look at this psalm that I read earlier, Psalm 139:14. Look at that psalm that says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works. That's a reference to God. Marvelous are thy works. So you're a marvelous individual, whether you recognize it or not. Begin to recognize that. Look at that verse. If you read the Bible, Psalm 139:14, and study that, meditate on that a little bit, and ask yourself some good questions. That'll kind of get you going. And let me see, there was another question that I wanted to get in here. Yeah. Santos, do you ever struggle with envy? I don't struggle with envy, but I experience it. Every once in a while. The thing is, when you know who you are and when you know what you're capable of, you're not intimidated by other people, right? People compare themselves with other people. That's dangerous. That is very dangerous to compare yourself to another person. I remember Michael Jordan. He was asked in an interview, Michael, what makes you so fantastic? What makes you so good? Well, obviously practice, right? Practice, repetition. He said, I'm not in competition with other people. He says, I'm in competition with me, with myself. I'm going to push myself. I want to find what it is that I have within me that I can develop further to the furthest extent. And you think about Kobe Bryant and all these others. But Michael Jordan, I remember that. I'll never forget that interview, that statement where he said, I'm not in competition with others. I'm in competition with myself. So thank you for bringing that up. I don't struggle with it. If you struggle, I'm not saying you, Jim, but if you struggle with envy, do a study. Again, look at your life, ask yourself some good questions. If you need help, those of you that are out there, if you need help, get a counselor, get a friend, get somebody that can help you dig deeper inside and bring out the gifts and the talents that you have. I do offer one-on-one coaching, again, at a discount, a little bit of a discount these days. If someone here on this broadcast, or you're out there, you're new, and you want some personalized coaching and you've got the funds to invest in yourself, hit me up, soldiersofselfmastery.com. I'm willing to tackle anything that you have. And if I can't help you, I'll find somebody to help you. But I believe I've got quite a bit of experience and creativity and imagination to help just about, it's weird. I believe that. I believe that I can help people. There's things that I haven't been able to accomplish in my own life. Maybe I don't need them, but I know that I can help somebody else. And that is imagination. That's creativity. That is confidence. I didn't have that. Fellow soldiers, I didn't have that before. The only reason why I can say this is because I spend a lot of time with people like Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, Coach Cephas, and many others. And of course, I spend a lot of time studying myself. I want to know what I'm really made of. So thank you for that, Jim. I appreciate that. Let me see. Santos, let's be honest. The gambling is an escape for most of us from reality. It could be abuse, a lack of relationship, or fear in life itself. Well, there's a reason why you're gambling. There's a reason why. And would it help you to know the reason why you're gambling? Would it help you to know why you're gambling? That might help you a little bit, because if you're looking for something, right, the reason why we gamble is because we want something from that. Could there be another way that we can actually get that same benefit, right? But if you don't understand why, then you're not going to really be able to find something else that can replace that, right? Trading habits. But more importantly, I believe that the reason why it could be, there's many reasons why you could be gambling. And I'm not just saying you per se, I'm saying why you might be gambling. There's many, many reasons why you can be gambling. But there's other ways to get that benefit, right? There's other ways to trade, and we're believing lies, man. There's too much noise. Our greatness is being blocked, my fellow soldiers. It could be a friend that you don't want to separate from, that's dragging you on. Hey, man, let's go to the casino. It could be, again, it's habit. You've been doing it for a while. There's a number of reasons why you're gambling, but it's all a lie. We are being fed lies left and right, and most people are soaking it up. I mean, think about this for a moment with me. Does it make sense to go gamble if you're losing money all the time? It doesn't make any sense at all. Like this COVID-19, many people are dying from other experiences, but yet our focus is on COVID-19. And there's not that many people dying from COVID-19 compared to other. It doesn't make sense to me. So it doesn't make sense to go gamble if you're losing. If you're losing, you might win one time, but then you're losing again. Why are we doing that? I'll tell you why. We're deceived. That's why. There's something that's interfering with you rising up like a superpower above that thing. I'm here to tell you that you can. I'm here to tell you that you can. You can win. You can win over smoking. You can win over drinking. You can win over. Your mind might be telling you, no, I can't. See, there's your mind. That there's a block in there. Then again, you got to want it. You have to want it. That's the truth. You have to want it. All right, we're winding down here. We're coming down. So number one, there's a couple of things that I'm going to encourage those of you that are still here with me. I'm going to encourage you to study yourself. I'm going to encourage you to look at the Psalm 39:14 or 139:14. It's a very, very powerful verse, proverb. And I'm also going to ask you to share your gift. You see, if you're not sharing your gift, You might be doing, right? You might be working, you might be doing, but there's more that you can do. There's another level. Once you get to that level, you can go to another level. There's more. Unless you're giving, you're not going to be receiving. Unless you're giving, you're not going to be receiving. And one thing that I wanted to share, that's, by the way, that's my call to action. You have to get a vision for yourself. You have to get something. There's something that has to be bigger than gambling that will motivate you, because boredom, maybe having extra money, whatever it may be, you have to get a bigger vision. You have to get something bigger than that, whatever it is that you have. If you don't have a direction, you're just gonna go with the flow with whatever is available. You have to have a plan. 7-day, I call it a 7-day plan. Take 7 days out of your calendar. This isn't a big deal, right? Take 7 days, mark up your calendar so that you're busy. Doesn't give you time to go into the casino. And then you work, you set your alarm, you can use your phone. Set yourself, how can I say this? Use the technology to remind yourself, like alarms and different things like that go off on the phone. As soon as they go off, you follow what you put in your calendar. But if you don't have anything planned out, and if you're bored, and guess what, man? If you're trying to defeat these things that already entangle you, you're not going to be able to get out of it. You have to begin moving away from that immediately. And the time is today. Begin moving away from it today. You can do it. I'm doing it day by day. And that's what I tell people. And some people say, man, day by day, start day by day. Today, you're free, right? And then tomorrow comes, day by day. Believing the lie is not going to help. Obviously, believing the lie. Let me see. Picking coins in junior high and smoking pot. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. But I realized that you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. I heard it. My dad even gambled from his hospital bed. The influence, the influence is big, and that's what happens, right? I trace back to playing marbles in my backyard with the kids in the neighborhood. All right, my fellow soldiers, we're going to come down to the wire here. I've already shared what I wanted to share. I don't want to go overboard. In fact, I didn't even think I was going to be here for an hour. Rob says I was a mess. I was a mess while gambling alone in my sad world. I'll tell you, man, it feels definitely, it feels killer. It feels killer to be free. And think about the next time that you get tempted to go gamble. Think about the next time you get tempted to go do that thing, whatever it is that you do. Think about it. Stop for the moment and ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question before you dive down that road. The key is to getting yourself to think, getting yourself to stop, right, and ask. We get a thought. Everybody in here gets thoughts before you go gambling. You get thoughts. But what happens? All these blocks, man, they steamroll, right? And what happens? Your subconscious takes over, your habit takes over, and the puppet master. And we're like the puppet, right? The strings are being pulled. And you got to cut through all those strings. You got to get the big scissors, a big pair of scissors, and start cutting those strings. You can start doing it today. All right, my fellow soldiers, I'm going to put on a few tunes and see what other make your addictions positive, like reading, exercise, studying, which could help you grow in a positive way rather than having bad addictions like gambling, smoking, drinking, which puts you in big trouble. That's right. This world has a lot of bad pleasures, man. The world has a lot of bad pleasures, but sadly, we just go overboard, right? Somebody said that in moderation. Well, there's people that can go into the casino. There's people that can walk into a casino once or twice a year and leave. I'm not one of those persons. So for me, it's done and over with. Sorry about your father, Laura. My condolences. Well, we all have sin in our lives. That is true. We all have sin. We don't have to give in. We can fight. We can. You have the ability to do that. If you're not doing that, you have to find out why. Because, again, if you haven't hit rock bottom, that's what's going to hit you. And some people don't recover from rock bottom. That's the sad part. You know, people think that you have to hit rock bottom in order to change. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can get excited. You can hear a message. You can read a book, get a video in the middle of your problems, get excited and say, I'm going in this direction. I'm going in a new direction. You don't have to hit rock bottom. I really believe that. There you go. Yep. I agree with that one. 100%. Hey, Wilson. I guess Patrick wasn't on the broadcast, but see, I'll hang out here for a little bit longer. I think it is in us, but still we can. Of course we can. You can fight it, man. I'm telling you, you know, I'm an example, man. 32 plus years, man, on and off. I never thought that I could overcome it. But then again, I didn't have the tools that I have today that I'm sharing with those of you that are here. I didn't have these tools. The only thing that I had was a lot of videos. And then I started, you know, taking notes, journaling, and I started investigating what the heck is self-talk. I had no clue what self-talk was. But when I realized how I was talking to myself, I started changing that very quickly, because your self-talk is either going to lift you up or it's going to bring you down. Down. That's why I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to put anybody down. But when you put a statement on there and I see the words that you're using right then and there, I can pinpoint what's kind of going on in your head. And these little pinpointers, maybe you're not noticing them, but if I can point them out, if you could lock onto that and run with it, I guarantee you, you'll begin to develop your superpower. You will develop your superpower. Hello, Suzanne. We missed you earlier. Good to see you, young lady. Australia. Let me see. Tasmania. There we go. Tasmania. All right, my fellow soldiers. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here. And I will be probably coming on Wednesday, maybe, possibly a Wednesday. I know Friday I'll be coming back on. And then Sunday. So I look forward to seeing you guys here. Remember, we got to stay safe, right? We should still use precautionary measures, but don't live in fear, my fellow soldiers. You know, if you're observing the news, listen, you can pay attention to some of the news, but focus on good news. I put a very, very powerful video from two doctors on my Facebook page. If you go to my Facebook, those of you, if you want to, Santos Rolon there on Facebook, on my feed, there is a video. It's about a 35-40 minute video. There's two doctors from California that they run several hospitals, and they've been on the front lines dealing with this, and they've been seriously studying all this stuff, and what they talk about is phenomenal. They're really bringing some truth to this thing. It was an eye-opener for me. It just kind of confirmed what I was already thinking. So again, you can go to Facebook, Santos Rolon Jr. on Facebook, and check out that video. I think it's a great video. It's an eye-opener. Yeah. I'm going to hang out for just a few more minutes. We still got a little bit of a crowd here. I want to thank you guys for being here. You guys make my day. You know, you guys may not realize this, but you push me. You push me to a good place. So I want to thank you. You may not completely understand that, but I want to thank you. Because in a sense, you are giving when you come here and interact with me. You are giving. Let me see. What was it? Am I right, amigo? Well, only you know if you're right, my fellow soldier. Only you know. Yeah. I'm getting hungry. You guys hungry? Want to get something to eat? What would I like to eat right now? Man, some really homemade fresh tacos. Tasty tacos. You're welcome, Laura. Hopefully you got something out of this episode. As I said, my goal was to help those of you that are here begin to see your greatness. All right, on that note, we will end the broadcast again here. Black beans. There we go. Man, I'm hungry. I don't know about you. I'm hungry. Oh, Gulan's fasting. Can't eat or drink. Wow. Okay, I understand the Muslim. I think Ramadan. Yep. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that, man. You make mine, vato, huh? All right, Kanan. Breathe. All right, my fellow soldiers, I will see you on the next episode live. Remember to support me if you're benefit the mission or support the mission. Check out soldiersofselfmastery.com. It doesn't have to be money, my fellow soldiers. It could be something else. Maybe you can help me with technology. Help me get more subscribers. If you know how to help me get more subscribers, I mean, I'm doing my part. I'll help you do your part. Let me see. Help me do more of my part. All right. Yes, I will stay gold. I will continue to fight every single day because there's no other way for me, man. I'm not going back. I'm not going backwards. And I'm looking forward to getting out there. I'm looking forward to getting this COVID-19. I'm just looking forward to getting all this out of the way so that I can go forward and, gregoriously meet with people. So, well, I know that I'm helping folks because I'm getting emails and I'm getting the calls and I'm getting donations from a few folks. So I don't think people would be sending me money if I wasn't helping them in some way. At least I think that way. So I'm very, very grateful for the donations that I get. And I mean, they're far and few, but hey, even $5 is better than no dollars. That's the way I look at it. I had people sending me $1, $2. I get 1,000 people sending me $1. That's $1,000 for this mission. So, yeah. By the way, I'm looking forward tomorrow. I am going to be doing a podcast. If you haven't checked out the podcast at Soldiers of Self-Mastery, I would encourage you to check out the podcast that we're doing. Cephas, my partner Cephas, and I. Jim has been with us. Jim has shared some really good insight. Also, tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing with my fellow teammate, Coach Cephas, a young lady from, she's from London by the name of Elena, and she is a professional consultant with the Gallagher, the Bob Proctor Gallagher Institute, and she is a phenomenal person. I haven't met her. She is a coach transforming people's lives, helping them, to really find their dream life. And we're going to be doing that broadcast tomorrow early in the morning. I'm looking forward to that. And that will be up on Soldiers of Self-Mastery, the podcast there. So looking forward to that. All right, my fellow soldiers, I got to go. I'm getting hungry. Those tacos are calling me. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that, man. Yeah. And make sure that you subscribe to the email at soldiersofselfmastery.com. Okay, subscribe. You get a little gift. I think there's a download gift for you. And you'll get a couple of emails from me every week. So thank you. I truly appreciate all of you guys. I salute you. I will see you on my next episode. Peace.